Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hopkins Middle School and Music at Hopkins Winter Concert for Orchestra. I'm very appreciative that you're all here. My name is Mr. Sarton. It is my 4th year teaching at Hopkins, and I have to tell you, it's the best job in the world. So you're going to have a great time watching these kids play, enjoying what they have to do. But we have something that's very important that we want you to consider as we go into this. This only happens once. You will never again go to this concert. We encourage you to be here, not to be on your phones. So I'm going to read an announcement, and then 4 of our students are going to represent the diverse cultural richness of our attendance area by sharing this exact announcement in the 4 main languages. We have over 100 languages spoken here, but these are the 4 predominant languages spoken in our attendance area. It's important to honor the people who live here. I live here, so I'm going first. Welcome to the Hopkins Middle School Orchestra Winter Concert. Your generous donations to the Hopkins Band and Orchestra Boosters have allowed us to professionally record tonight's concert. A free link will be sent to all families once the video has been edited. Instead of recording this concert on your phones, please take this opportunity to turn your phone off and enjoy this music without distraction. Thank you for being here to support music in our schools.
Bienvenidos al concierto de invierno de la Orquestra de la Escuela Secundaria Hopkins. Gracias a sus generosas donaciones a la organización de Hopkins Banda y Orchestra Boosters, se grabará profesionalmente el concierto de esta noche. Se compartirá a todas las familias un enlace gratis con el video de la actuación de esta noche después de que ha sido editado. En vez de grabar el concierto con sus teléfonos, por favor tomen esta oportunidad para apagar sus teléfonos y disfrutar en la música sin distracciones. Gracias por estar aquí para apoyar el estudio de música en nuestras escuelas.
हॉपकिंस मिडिल स्कूल की अर्धवार्षिक संगीत समारोह में आप सबका स्वागत है। आप सबके द्वारा दी गई दान राशि के वजह से हॉपकिंस बैंड और ऑर्केस्ट्रा बूस्टर्स ने हमारे को आज रात को संगीत समारोह को प्रोफेशनली रिकॉर्ड करने की अनुमति दी है। आप सबको इस संगीत समारोह का मुफ्त में देखने का वीडियो लिंक भेजा जाएगा। आप सब से निवेदन है कि आप रिकॉर्ड करने की बजाय आप इसको देखने और सुनने का आनंद उठाएं। आप सबका यहाँ आने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
欢迎来到霍普金斯中学管弦乐团冬季音乐会。感谢您对霍普金斯乐团和管弦乐团助学基金的慷慨捐助，使我们能够对今晚的音乐会进行专业录制。视频编辑完成后，我们将把免费视频链接发送给所有家庭。请不要用手机录制音乐会，而是借此机会关掉手机，专心欣赏音乐会。感谢您莅临现场，支持我们学校的音乐教育。
வணக்கம். ஹாப்கின்ஸ் நடுநிலை பள்ளி குளிர்கால இசை நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு வரவேற்கிறோம். ஹாப்கின்ஸ் இசைக்குழு மற்றும் ஆர்கெஸ்ட்ரா பூஸ்டர்களின் தாராள நன்கொடைகள் இன்று இரவு கச்சேரியை தொழில் ரீதியாக பதிவு செய்ய எங்களுக்கு அனுமதித்துள்ளது. வீடியோ எடிட் செய்யப்பட்டவுடன் வீடியோவுக்கான இலவச இணைப்பு அனைத்து குடும்பங்களுக்கும் அனுப்பப்படும். உங்கள் போன்களில் கச்சேரியை ரெக்கார்ட் செய்வதற்கு பதிலாக தயவு செய்து உங்கள் மொபைலை ஆஃப் செய்து கவனச்சிதறல் இல்லாமல் இசையை ரசிக்க இந்த வாய்ப்பை பயன்படுத்துங்கள். எங்கள் பள்ளிகளில் இசையை ஆதரிக்க இங்கு வந்ததற்கு நன்றி.
Thank you so much. I'm going to invite Mr. Flayhive, our teacher for music at Hopkins, to come up, introduce himself in this group. I'll see you all with my groups in just a minute.
Well, after that, now I feel a little bit bad about having my program notes on my phone. Good evening, Hopkins Middle School families. My name is Robert Flahive. It is my privilege to be the elementary orchestra director for the Music at Hopkins program, a nonprofit organization that supports elementary student musicians in their years just prior to becoming Hopkins Hawks. Our first piece with the beginning orchestra, our elementary beginning orchestra, is often attributed to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, but Mozart simply popularized an old French folk tune by creating variations of it. See if you can recognize a Mozart melody. You may have noticed our beginning students are not using their bows, and that's because they're first developing the use of their left hand using a technique called pizzicato, or plucking the strings. We want to make sure they're really strong on that, and you can hear their sound tonight. I can hear they are strong before they continue on and to use their bows. Our next song is called Song for Christine. Well, it wouldn't be a December concert without some holiday music. Next is a Welsh folk song which became popularized as a holiday carol. Here is Good King Wenceslas. Our final piece this evening with the elementary beginning orchestra is a song that describes traveling by sleigh through snowy landscapes in times of old. We hope you enjoy Jingle Bells. Thank you all very much. Our elementary intermediate orchestra is next. Stay tuned. Our first song with the Elementary Intermediate Orchestra is another French folk song which may be familiar to you. This is Farajaka. To start the year, our elementary intermediate orchestra students have been reinforcing fundamentals like bow holds, keeping a steady beat, and balancing our sound between the orchestra. We've also been playing in harmony, as demonstrated by our next tune called Lightly Row. Finally, we will leave you with a world-renowned melody from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Please enjoy this rendition of Ode to Joy. As we close the elementary portion of our evening tonight, I'd like to say thank you to our Music at Hopkins organization, the Hopkins Band and Orchestra Boosters, especially Allison Tan and Jason Sargent. Thank you to all of our students' families for your support. It's really you that keep this program going. And thank you very much. Have a happy holidays. Our middle school groups are next. Please give it up one more time for our beginning and intermediate elementary orchestra.
This group you see in front of you, this is very low, and I am not. This group you see in front of you is the first to ever happen at Hopkins. We have not had a beginning orchestra. In fact, FUSD never even offered the class. And so when Ms. Coy and I were talking back when Prop 28 money came out, I said one of the things that's important to me is to give students an opportunity to play a stringed instrument, even if they didn't do it in 4th and 5th grade. Previously, to be in the lowest level orchestra at Hopkins, you needed to have 3 years of experience. At least 60% of the kids you see up here never played anything before August. And they have worked their tails off. It has been really exciting to see them grow. And I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to have more kids brought into music and to enjoy playing it. This next piece you're going to hear is a Christmas piece. You'll recognize 3 traditional carols. The most important thing about it, though, is that it is a fiddling piece. Now, the difference between a fiddle and a violin is played seriously and a fiddle is played for fun. And you will hear very much how much fun they have playing this next piece, which is called, I think, Christmas Housetop Fruit Fiddling thing. What's it called again? They know everything. Here they go. So this is our intermediate orchestra. It is made up mostly of 7th graders. There are a number of 6th graders here, though. We are having a great time learning how to express ourselves. They've learned the basics of the instrument, and now they're going into telling stories when they have things to say. This next piece of music is called Indigo Mountain. It was composed by Susan Day as she sat on the plains of Colorado looking up at the Rocky Mountains, which are, if you get the opportunity to look at them from the east, purple. The interesting thing about this piece is that despite the fact it's in a minor key, which generally would be a sad song, it is very uplifting, charming, and fun. This is Indigo Mountain by Susan H. Day. Their last piece for the evening is 2 Christmas pieces. This is a mashup of the Ukrainian Bell Carol, which, fun fact, is not a Christmas song, but we made it one in America because that's what we do, but also of What Child Is This? You will hear a delightful interweaving of the 2 melodies and a whole lot of excitement. Enjoy. As is often the case, they remembered way more than I did. I need to tell you that in our intermediate orchestra, and in fact in every orchestra and band except for advanced orchestra, we rotate violin parts. Why do we do that? Because it's really important to me that nobody gets the idea that because they're not playing the melody, they're not important. I've been a professional musician most of my life. I made a living doing it until 4 years ago. And I think there's more to achievement than just being the quote-unquote best. And in fact, you can't have a musical organization without everybody. And so we rotate. Everyone gets a chance to play first. Everyone gets the challenge of being the leader. Everyone gets the challenge of being the one who supports. I hope that you enjoy this new section of first violins. And now we go. this is our advanced orchestra. Most of these people have been playing between 3 and 5 years. Many of them came up through the Music at Hopkins program. Last summer, I submitted a recording to the California Music Educators Association in an effort to become the featured middle school orchestra for the State Music Convention in January of next year. And this group was selected to be that group. So, the music you're hearing tonight is a little less than half of what they'll play. In a normal year, we learn between 45 and 48 minutes of music. We have learned 38 minutes of music for this concert we're doing in January. And they've worked so hard, and some really fun music. This next thing you're going to listen to is by a man named Joseph de Bologna. He was an African man composing in Europe about 10 years before Mozart became famous. If you're familiar with classical music, this will sound a lot like Mozart. But as is often the case, his music was buried because people knew who he was, and they judged him for the color of his skin, not for the amazing music he wrote. His music's had a resurgence in recent years, and I'm thrilled to play his concertante from Symphony No. 1. Here we go. This next piece is one of my favorites that was originally written for string orchestra. It is called Scena della Mer, which is scenes from the sea. You'll hear two parts, the calmness that sometimes the sea gives us, and then the wild rage that sometimes comes out. The reason I love this piece is that it gives us an opportunity to explore the emotional landscape of teenagers. It wouldn't be right to ask them to play the way that I experience music or the way I've experienced the world. In this one, the jagged emotions that young people have are celebrated, not hidden. You'll notice that my front row violins traded places. I have 4 co-principal violins for this semester. All 4 of them have done great work. For the first half of the program, 2 will play first, 2 will play second, and then they switch for the second half of the program. So this is Elliot Del Borgo's Scena della Mer. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm really excited to say that we are done at 7:47, which is magical. Thank you for all of our volunteers. Thank you for my teachers that are helping chaperone. We have one last Christmas gift for you, and then we'll all head out. Please, don't worry about it. People often want to help put away the seats, but tomorrow night we have a band concert, so you can just leave it all there. So this is our final gift from Advanced Orchestra. I hope you have a wonderful, safe holiday.